Roll Call 219 here, and it's deer season. And this is opening day. This is October 1st of the 2024 deer season. My car is going to be loud, so hopefully this ain't going to be too bad when I start driving, but the old truck is loud, so we'll have to see how it turns out on video, but I know the truck is loud.
Afraid to pull so much.
Alright, so we're going to the tree stand to sit for the first time. There's no more food plot videos, none of that, folks. That's all done for. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point. So whatever shows up throughout the year. For people that don't know, that this is September's the best time because you can pattern these deer pretty good. They're going to food, they're going to bedding, going to food. So you can pattern these deer real good in September. When you start getting into October, November, December, those 3 months, man, these deer are going to be scattered. Not only that, gun season runs in the middle of archery. So you're going to have them kind of spooked because of gunshots. So don't forget about that. That comes up, I think, the 15th of November. So there's going to be a lot of changes along the way. This is going to be the best time to shoot the big guy. And I'm being serious. This is the best time to shoot that deer if he is still alive and he is still lurking in the shadows. This is the best time to do it because he'll be going to food, he'll be going to bedding, plus he'll be checking in on his does if he's got does. This is it, folks. This is the big time. This is game time. This is the football bullshit that you figure for sports. This is the Super Bowl. But the thing about this Super Bowl is it's about 4 months, and if you're lucky, 5 months long. So you got all the time in the world, it may seem, but come December, like I've been in situations before, you could be eating deer tags, man. I mean, with the outbreak of VHD and getting so close to my area and in so many other different areas, man, some people are hoping and praying that they get a deer this year because of all the stuff that's gone on leading up to this moment. There's going to be a million hunters in the woods today in all the other states that are a little bit behind that are opening on October 1st. Some people don't open up until the 5th. So, I mean, again, we got a long ways to go. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. And we just hope stuff shows up. From all the work that I've been doing all the way up to this point, I mean, hopefully it pays off. I haven't seen the food plot. I haven't been back to the food plot since the last time I went and planted. And that was a week ago, almost 2 weeks ago. So, I mean, we'll have to look on the cameras. I'll get the camera footage at the end of the day today, and things like that, and see how it goes. But this is my best shot, is in the morning. From what I've seen on the videos, or the video photos that my cameras have taken, this is the best time. These deer are coming in to my area around 6:30, 7 o'clock. You know, so it's gonna be quite the battle of getting in there. Hopefully they're not in there right now, and if the food plot is flourishing, man, I mean, it's kind of a surprise kind of thing, man. You know, that's what it is. It's going to be a surprise. They're going to be surprised to see me crawling through the woods here in about 10 minutes. So 10, 20 minutes. So I don't know, man. It's going to be one of those days, I feel, that, you know, if good bucks come out, then we'll be in good shape. If we don't see bucks, we might be dragging into November, man. Middle of October. You know, right before the rut starts to really kick off. So we'll have to wait and see what we get. coming up here when the sun comes up. Again, dude, I got up around 4:30, getting my stuff ready. Finally cracked open my tote. I haven't opened my tote since I packed it the beginning of summer. I haven't opened my tote since. So, I mean, it's going to be exciting to see what goes on, man. You know, it's going to be really exciting. And hopefully, the guy shows up, man. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Hopefully the guy shows up. Hopefully somebody shows up, man. We might get a look at the 4-pointer. Might get a look at that Gangly. Remember Gangly on the things? This is where we're going to see him in person. This is where we're going to see him without velvet. There was some rubs last time I was there. There's some rubs around the area. So, I mean, there's bucks, but it's just not the big guy, and that's the dude I'm after. I'm after the big guy. This is the guy that will really solidify my hunting if I can kill this deer. And I've been watching this deer for about 6 years now. This is the start of 6 years of watching this deer. 5.5 if you want to get technical. But I've been watching this deer since 2018. For the end of 2017 into 2018. I've only had 2 encounters with them in person. I mean, dude, this is a really smart deer. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing this for a while. But again, I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen him yet this year. Hopefully he's still around. I mean, you never know. It's a little safer to talk now. When I first got up here, there's no reason to take a video because you can't see nothing. I heard some bleeding off to my left here, off my left, and I think a fawn got lost. Let me turn my camera. What I think happened is those deer came back out through that way. They worked their way back to the field this way. And if you see back over here, that area, that's another field and back. The only problem now is, for some reason, the wind kicked up. And I don't know if that's because of the hurricane or what, like the remnants of it. I did have a raccoon right about here. I got my gun right there, but I don't want to. Yeah, I know it's suppressed and all. I just didn't want to stir the woods right now. The wind just changed dramatically, and the bad thing is I think it's a south wind, and that's not a good spot. I'm gonna keep on checking wind, looking at leaves, seeing what's gonna go on. I've heard tons of cars honking coming out of the going onto the roads and coming down. There's honking all around, so there's deer out here. I seen one run across briefly for a brief moment as this car was honking to him, so that deer went that way. Hold on. Squirrels. I think that's what happened. I think those deer are leaking out again, just like the previous years. They're leaking out back over here, and they've made their little trail back through there, and they got through that brush to get to this field back here. See that? That's the field. That's where those turkeys come off sometimes. They'll come off right there and walk this way. Remember, I can shoot stuff now this way, so it's game on. But it's a lot of down trees. Looking at my food plot, man, I can see grass coming up from what I did. now that more and more I see it, I can see grass, but I don't know. Alright, so this is probably the end of day one. Some stupid blue jay squawking, but usually that's a squirrel they're squawking at. Today anyways. But in the morning it looked promising. I came around a corner off the road that I get to the stand, and there's a big buck sitting there, man, but he didn't stick around long, and he fizzled out when I went by, and I didn't get a good look at him. Could he have been the big guy? Very much so. Don't know. We'll never know. Because he never came back this way. Early in the morning, a raccoon, 2 turkeys. A little bit ago, I think I seen a deer scoot by. But, I mean, it was lickety split, like, oof. And I figured it would leak out here to the field, but it didn't. And if it went that way, it's gone. I seen 2 figures. If you look straight down these trees right here, back there, I can see until they get down into that gully on the back end. One was really dark, the second one was really dark, so I'm thinking it was coyotes. And that could be why I haven't seen anything today. But there's a lot of squirrels, so I don't know, man. It was really hard to see what it was, plus the shadows. If you see all these shadows on the ground, just really hard to tell, man, unless it's right there. Food plot, if you can see it, it's green. It's green all around here. Trail camera footage only revealed 5 does. Not a whole lot of pictures. Just a couple of does moving through. The one doe that has the 3 yearlings, 3 babies, whatever you want to call them, she came and visited a couple days ago. But, I mean, looking on Facebook, looking on some other platforms, man, there's few and far between that shot a deer today. I don't know if it's because the weather turned wild, because it was never supposed to be like this, but it's supposed to be like 75 or 73 or something. Dude, it's been like 60 all day with rain. But nothing on opening day this year. Nothing. Just coldness, raccoons, stupid blue jays. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I may come back here. I may not. Just let this spot sit for a while at this point, because this is turned into being all day sit, and I don't want to do that again. But I was hoping to catch something coming through here in the morning, just passing through, but no dice. And it's wild too, and this is my biggest concern before we get off of here. Usually this field here is stacked with deer. I think the other day somebody told me they drove by and there's like 25 deer just alone in this field. That's not the field that's down back over here. So where'd they all go? I don't know. But like I said, if there's predators in the area, man, they'll just avoid this area. They'll avoid it altogether and they won't come in here. So I don't know if that's the case, or they just found somewhere else to hang out for the day, but it ain't here. So couldn't make no videos. I mean, unless you want to watch squirrels dig around. But that's about it, man. All right, to sum this one up, man, because I got to go to work here in a couple hours. Dude, it was a long night. Recovered the deer. Look, I prepped this spot for bucks. This is where I want to spend my buck tag because of the big guy. I thought he was a big guy, but just the big guy. But not meant to be, man. I sat there. The weatherman lied to me again. I dressed for what they predicted, didn't come true, and I was really cold at the end of the night. People drive by my spot all the time. They'll shoot me pictures, text messages of what they're seeing. It's almost better than a trail camera. And people have pulled up, showed me a picture of doe group, because I was already down in the truck packing things up. I was cold, tired, miserable. It was all day sit. And the weather wasn't great. The wind was swirling. No wonder nothing was moving other than, some squirrels. I give you 1,000 camera shots of squirrels, but that's boring. But I was like, oh, give me about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, I'm going to head these deer off, especially if it's a doe group. There's a lot of does in this area. I know these does. I know who they are, who they're hanging around with. I don't like shooting does early, but I want my food plot to survive, man. I've spent over $100 in seed and countless hours of time of making food plots. And these doe groups, they're so big, when they get in there, they obliterate it. So then I don't have food for the upcoming winter months. And that's very critical, especially if you haven't tagged the buck and I'm trying to shoot one specific deer. I mean, don't get me wrong, if a good one comes out, I mean, it is what it is. But that's my whole goal, is about the big guy in this spot. I know he's there. I know he lurks, and we'll get to him in a minute. But this doe was coming through with a group, and I didn't have time to get my tree stand. If I would have done that, they would have seen me climbing up it. That's how close this interaction was. This deer was about, 10 feet from me when I shot her, and I put it through the shoulder, kind of looked and glanced where she was running to, but there's a lot of other deer that were roaming in that area. I want chaos, but I want it controlled, and I want to be the controller of the chaos, if that makes sense. So I kind of backed out after I shot her, went back down by where I entered, kind of listened for it. A lot of rustling, a lot of stuff going on back there. Backed out even further just in case deer were going to come back there. I don't want them to see me. I want them to just be oblivious of the chaos, controlled chaos that has just happened. Ended up tracking this deer for about 2.5 hours. Finally found her. Well, my buddy Stan, kudos to him, found her because the Schwacker kind of did what it was supposed to do, but the bolt didn't. If you guys have been watching my channel for a fair amount of time, or if you're new to it, dude, I'm beholden to by no company like other YouTubers are. I'm not paid and supplied by these people. I use products. I tell you whether they're good or they're bad. That's what's unique about my channel. There's nobody saying, oh, you're not going to get any of this stuff if you don't say the product is good, that you see all over social media everywhere. I'm using a specific setup that I've used before and I've been successful, but I've been noticing failures, and we'll get into that in a later video. So she comes up quartering away, then she kind of quarters to me, and then finally steps out of this tree. I'm fat, so I had to find the fattest tree and get the best angle where I could shoot this deer. So she stepped out and I let her have it. I mean, it's one of those things, it's just one of those things where you think you have a good shot. It looks like a good shot, but then you kind of doubt yourself when you don't find this deer the first hour or the first 20 minutes. And she just did a bunch of circles. She knew she was in bad shape. At one point, I think we might have kicked her up. I'm not sure if there was other deer there. I mean, it's pitch black. You can't see anything until you whip the flashlight on it. Looking for this deer, she would spray a lot, and then you'd have a fingernail of blood on a leaf. And Lord, I don't know why she didn't drop it on the yellow leaves, but she dropped them on all the dark colored leaves. And it was hard because you have those really red leaves that you might think is blood, but it's not blood, but it's surrounded by all these nice yellow leaves that a good blood drop would look good. But we ended up finding her, taking her back, and all that stuff. This is the second year in a row, which is cool, that I've shot a deer on opening day. I don't like to take does this early in the year, but in the end, I don't care because I want my food plot to survive. So that's that. Got her, reclaimed her. I'll throw a picture up here. Very happy, satisfied. It's a good doe. She had some smaller deer with her. She was lactating, so she must have been either those were the fawns she birthed, or she's just in her cycle, which the next cycle is starting to become estrus and all the good stuff that you see for the rut. A little bit of a younger deer, I would say at the most 2 years old. So it's just a good young deer, tender. We noticed though when we got her that she had a little bit of trauma on one of the sides of her. My buddy thinks she might have been hit previously and survived. I mean, this might be just natural selection, but we did notice some damage, some trauma when we opened her up all the way, and we noticed there was some trauma on the shoulder. But I mean, that's easy to take care of. But I mean, deer are tough. Deer are tough animals. They are. Go look at the zombie deer that's on the community tab. You can see that deer's ribs and it's rutting and hanging out with its friends. You know, deer are tough. The big guy, when I was driving to the tree stand in the morning, when I'm coming around this corner where I can start looking at the fields though that are further down from the tree stand, there was a very, very large deer that I seen, and he didn't stick around long. My truck's kind of loud, and soon as I'm cresting this hill, you can see this deer. This is how big this deer is. Was it him? My heart in me wants to say yes, but there's a little bit of doubt. But you never know until this deer shows up. It wasn't a doe, I'll tell you that right now, and it was really dark. My headlights aren't the greatest, so I mean, he didn't stick around long. He was gone. He was gone in an instant, and that's a blind corner, so I don't want to stop, and get hit. But I saw a very, very large buck, a very, very big one, looking healthy, swayed back, nice pot belly, very firm, very good looking deer. Whether it was him or not, I'll never know until he shows up on camera. So that was the end of the first day of deer season. Tagged one, got 2 more to go. Hopefully I don't have to drag it into, December, January. I'll be done. I'll be done like last year, be done by November 1st. Get it out of the way. Society's kind of getting shooken up. I will say this before I leave, man. I can't remember the last time I went to the grocery store. So put that in your thought process bank when things start to go kind of chaotic like we saw through the coof. So I'd like to thank my old and my new subscribers and just the people that zip by. Again, I apologize for not getting the shot on camera. This was a bang bang play. Made this decision, went up there. I mean, this deer was 8 yards from me. I mean, I'm not pulling out a camera at that point. I got other things on my mind, folks. Stay vigilant, like always. We'll catch you on the next one.